Hello everybody, this is Gareth Goon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. Or otherwise you can look me up on YouTube, TikTok and X, and especially YouTube and X because they don't take down my videos, so you can see the videos that don't get posted on other social media sites. And you can also look up my created playlist so you can see the videos that I watch on a daily basis. This one here is another story of a South African activist who came to Israel convinced it was an apartheid state. What he saw changed his mind. A 2026 visit to Israel turned a South African activist who had once embraced the apartheid narrative about the Jewish state into a vocal supporter of Israel after he said he saw firsthand a reality that differed sharply from what he had previously believed. Benafa Modise, now 33, said that he previously participated in anti-Israel demonstrations and accepted the claim that Israel was an apartheid state. But after visiting the country, he said he had begun questioning the assumptions that had shaped his views. We saw the truth for ourselves and found ourselves questioning what we had thought were facts all these years, Modise told Ynet News during a recent interview. During his visit, Modise said he observed Jews and Arabs sharing public spaces, working alongside one another and participating in Israel's political system. He said the experience led him to reconsider his previous comparison between Israel and apartheid-era South Africa, where laws formally enforced radical segregation and discrimination against the country's black majority. Following the transformative visit, Modise became a pro-Israel activist and now heads activities for the Israel advocacy organisation Israel Is in South Africa. The organisation seeks to challenge negative perceptions of Israel by bringing South African Christian community leaders and lawmakers to Israel, allowing them to experience the country firsthand. Modise also manages pro-Israel social media accounts, which he says has accumulated more than 200,000 followers and reached millions of people across South Africa. He also works for the advocacy organisation South African Friends of Israel. The South African government has adopted a strongly critical position towards Israel, particularly since the Hamas-led October 7th, 2023 attack on southern Israel, in which approximately 1,200 people were killed and 251 Israelis were taken hostage. Well, not just Israelis, there was Arabs taken hostage too, and people from other nations. The government has also pursued a case accusing Israel of genocide at the International Court of Justice. A report has alleged that Iran helped finance South Africa's legal case, although that allegation has been disputed and should be treated as such. Modise argues that the government's position does not necessarily reflect the priorities of most South Africans, many of whom he says are more concerned with domestic issues, including economic difficulties and high crime rates. South Africa is indifferent to the war today. Foreign policy is not really the issue here in South Africa, he said. Modise attributed the government's position towards Israel to historical alliances, political considerations, and South Africa's relationship with other developing countries. He argued that those policies do not represent the views of all South Africans. He also distinguished the government's position and daily experience of South African Jews. What you see in the media and what you see as at pro-Palestinian marches is not everything that is happening on the ground, he said. You see that with the pro Palestinian marches, even the marches themselves are more from the Muslim community. This is not our people on the ground. There is no hostility on the ground towards Israelis and Jews, but there is a clear government policy based on historical alliances against Israel. Jews are very free here, he said. At the same time, South African Jews have left the country in recent years, with Israel, Australia, and the United States among their destinations. The reasons for emigrating vary and include concerns about security, economic opportunities, and the future of the Jewish community. Modise is not the only prominent South African to publicly express support for Israel. In December 2025, Ioxa King Algini Sigou visited Israel, where he toured communities near the Gaza border that had been affected by the Hamas attack. During the visit, he condemned the attack and criticised the South African government's position towards Israel. So this is just another story about someone who thought that Israel, like everybody else that only watches the news, thinks that Israel is this apartheid state where the Arabs are treated as second class citizens. But the truth on the ground is very different. There are Arabs working in the schools, in the hospitals, in the government. In fact, an Arab has sent an Israeli prime minister to jail in the past. So the fact that Arabs are second class citizens in Israel is a load of hullabaloo, meaning it's a load of rubbish. There's no segregation in Israel whatsoever. If you travel to Israel, you'll see Arabs, Jews, Christians, Alawites, and other minorities all travelling together on the same trains, the same buses, the same cars. So the fact that there's segregation in Israel is the biggest lie that has ever been told. In fact, do you know that Gaza has an encampment where only black people are allowed to stay? Yes, black people are only allowed to be in one area in Gaza, and they're not treated the same way as the white community living in Gaza. There's apartheid in Gaza, but there definitely is not in Israel. And this man attests to it behind me here. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.